welcome back to the group chat for episode 3, and we are lucky to finally be back in studio, cameras on, audio, back with these mics, and we are rolling, and boy, oh boy, was it a big weekend. We kicked things off Friday night with the Warriors, who unfortunately fell short in Manly. The Premier League kicked off Friday night as well. We'll dive into that. The ABs. Oh my goodness, huge, massive FU performance to all the critics out there as they stormed through Argentina with a win in the second test, 42-10. The Darts Masters rolled into Hamilton, and that looks to be an electric time where Cool Hand Luke secured his maiden World Series title. And to round things off, UFC 305 took over Perth with the headlining event, DDP taking on Israel Adesanya, where DDP got the submission in the fourth round. We had some fun across the weekend, up in Auckland across the week. Got around some of the UFC boys, Navajo, Sterling, and Aaron Toe. At the ABs on the Saturday night, we had heaps of fun. As always, I'm joined in studio with Phil Lerman. My name is Charlie Wilson. You'll be hearing from us weekly, as per usual, going forward. Remember to introduce myself. Phil, how was your week away?
That's great. I think you're 2 from 3 now, so we're doing well. Full-on weekend. Wow. Loved it. Everything.
Did you get much sleep?
Yes, I got sleep. I'll admit that much, but I got sleep. But it's good, man. It was full on, and it was a lot of fun. We fought the weather on Saturday up in Auckland. Felt like we were back at home in Wellington. The wind, the rain,
All the weather with us for show.
Sunday UFC 305. What a spectacle! Pretty much everything you would have wanted from an event like that. So, yeah, success.
Hell of an event, the watch party. I didn't mention it in the intro, but we had the watch party and blew my expectations out the water. Plenty of people there. Energy was high.
Great atmosphere.
The CKB boys got down there. They actually brought their whole crew, which was sick, getting to chat with those guys. A little insight into the Contender Series starting next month. But no, the event was sick. What did you think of the event as a whole?
You want to start on Sunday?
We could bounce around a little bit. Let's go.
Let's go with Rugby Championship.
You want to go Rugby Championship?
Let's kick off from there. Everything sort of unfolded off the back of that AB's game. Can make our way down.
Let's do it. So, the boys, they stood up. They answered some questions. Artie Sarvia led the front. We'll touch on this later, but I'm giving Artie my man of the match. But they stormed into the fortress, unbeaten for 50 games. Got the half century, raised the bat. 30 years in the making, and may long it continue. Thoughts on the game?
Well, way better than the week prior. I was worried about that weather a little bit, considering how the All Blacks were throwing the ball around pretty loosely in Wellington. I was like, man, this weather's not going to go down well for them, is it? But proved me wrong. Played out the gate and didn't really allow Argentina to get into the game at all. So I did not expect a blowout like that. I thought they would keep that record at the Fortress, but a 42-10 is absolute beating.
35-3 at halftime. So only the 2 tries in the second half. For me, the second half played out more to what I expected the whole game to be like.
Right.
After seeing the weather in Auckland and being up there, sent a message back to the boys in Wellington in the group where we've got our little pots together, and I was like, boys, the under is free. 48.5, the total was set at. Blew it out the water. Actually, it felt like it was going to blow it out the water.
Yes.
Especially after 38 points in the first half. Only 14 points in the second half. So kind of rallied there. I managed to slide in because I went at 54.5 under. But I was also backing All Blacks to win 1-12. And in another bet I had, the spread was 14.5. So I just took Argentina 14.5. Right. I thought the All Blacks were going to win. but I thought it was going to be a tight game, physical up front, handling errors, and the All Blacks showed up for physical from the start, put Argentina on the back foot, and just bolted in 5 tries in the first half.
Yeah, I thought there would be a lot more sort of, I don't know, pod work and sort of forwards crash balling. I thought they'd play a real tight sort of game due to the conditions, but they weren't. They're screwing on the edges. You had Artie Savia running it up the middle, bouncing Argentinians left, right,
boys
center
onto the ground.
Yeah, I would have also said All Blacks 1-12, but everyone and their mum was proved wrong on Saturday.
Yeah, answered a lot of questions. And I know that the kicking game was a massive talking point during the week. And we pretty much nailed it, I'd say. Our kicking was a lot better. I mean, the little short kicks into the space behind is what ultimately put the Pumas on the back foot, stopped their rush defense. But our kicking for territory as well, I mean, Geordie absolutely nailed some clearing kicks, like down past halfway. Kept us in good territory.
Yeah, and I thought D-Mac also had an outstanding game. His kicking off the tee in particular.
That was unbelievable. In those conditions, because it was windy out there as well. Our umbrellas were flying away when we were out on in Kingsland.
Yeah.
And D-Mac just nailed it.
Yeah, had a great game.
Had a hell of a game. I think he's definitely proved some people wrong. I mean, after one loss, everyone's going to hate and all that sort of jazz. It's expected, especially with the new look All Blacks. There's been a lot of talk about utility players across the board. Do we not have enough specific or, skill players in those positions? But it worked. I think we can go into South Africa in 2 weeks' time, hopefully with our tails up, bit of momentum on our side now, bit more confidence, and hopefully the backing of the Kiwis all the way once again.
Yeah, they'll definitely have a bit of momentum now. Would have been tough going back-to-back losses, losing a 50-game record at Eden Park and then having to fly to South Africa and play the Saffers at home.
That would have been a seriously disheartening changing room and Eden Park, and 2 weeks leading into the test to South Africa.
Yeah.
Did you have a man of the match for the game? I said mine was Artie.
Probably for me, D-Mac or Tamati Williams. I thought they were both very solid.
Forwards were strong up front.
They were strong.
Very strong. Scrum was good. I mentioned last week as well the no scrums until the 60th minute, but we won scrum penalties off. It felt like we were going to win a scrum penalty off nearly every scrum we had. Line outs were much better. The locking duo was very good. So I think across the board we were 10 times better in every aspect. South Africa, although, didn't have the greatest of starts against Australia.
No, sloppy start, I thought. 30-12 by that final whistle. I thought the first half very scrappy. Australia had the chance to go ahead.
11-9 at halftime?
Something like that. So they would have gone up.
12-11. Fairly easy kick too.
Yes. He definitely chopped it.
Yes.
He must be Garnacho. And then, Fussy, phenomenal, as expected. Yep. Hopefully he starts against the ABs. I'd be really upset if LaRue gets the start ahead of him after that, scoring the first try.
You think they'll go with experience there, or the young, electric kind of
surely after a game like that, you've got to keep Fussy on. He's, again, really good under the high ball, and he's great on attack.
He is electric. He has wheels. Yep. That first try just turned on the afterburners. We'll see you later. Dot down in the corner. That was nice to watch, and noticeably much quicker than lots of the other guys on the field. Yeah,
he's rapid, and I think although Billy LaRue has the experience, he also has sort of brain explosions, as we saw in the previous game. You have 2 players on your outside, one on the inside, and you choose to pass to neither of them and get tackled. It's absolutely crazy, and I don't think we can afford to have that against an ABs that just won 42-10. Get the young guns in there. They've showed up. They've proved that they deserve that spot. Stop just giving people caps for the sake of giving people caps.
Stop. Yeah, well, speaking of that, we noted that down with Sam Cane as well. I thought Sam Cane was quite good when he came on.
I thought he was very good. You heard his name a lot when he came on.
Yeah, so
a lot.
I guess he's earning those caps to get to 100.
He's a workhorse.
He's definitely earning them.
He's showing up.
Those 2 tests in South Africa, they're going to be so pivotal.
Yep.
Purely because the way that turns out, All Blacks realistically need to win both of those tests to secure the Rugby Championship.
Yep. Otherwise, what you're hoping that
Argentina can scab one.
Can scab one off South Africa, yeah.
Which the way South Africa are looking doesn't seem all that likely. Although the Pumas may find a bit of extra motivation. You got the 1 win against the All Blacks.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go and sweep Aussie.
They'll have
if
one
they can
game
sweep
at home
Aussie,
as
happy
well.
Days.
Yep.
Is it 1 game at home?
Yeah.
1 game in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they need to win that home game against South Africa. Otherwise, the All Blacks are going to have to go into South Africa and win both of those games in a very tough environment.
Yeah.
But
can't wait.
They've got the momentum on their side. They've got a 2-week break. They'll have captain Scott Barrett back in the team.
Argentina 1, Argentina 2.
He's only missing 2 tests.
Yep.
2 tests only. Is he playing? No, just 2 tests.
So when is he back?
2 tests,
okay.
please. Okay. But no, I think it'll be a very interesting setup over there. I hope Argentina can win 2 from 2 against Aussie. Do you know where both those games are?
That'll be great to see.
1 on Argentina, 1 on Aussie?
I think it's the same setup. No, actually. Both at home for Argentina, it looks like.
Nice.
Very nice.
Go the Pumas.
Yeah.
Love seeing Aussies downfall, although they've got some good crowds out to their games.
They do. The fans turn up.
Packed out Brisbane, nearly packed out Perth. Lots of that is credit to the South Africans showing up. I think nearly 50% of the stadium in the first game were South African supporters. But no, exciting times. 2-week break, so no rugby this weekend. But there will be some Premier League to watch, which we'll get into. UFC 305. Going to move along here.
Nice.
What a card that was. That was sick.
It was a good card.
At the watch party, live reactions to it.
Yep. Also, don't forget NPC this weekend. It's not all Rugby Championship, but UFC 305. Almost had the Kiwi trifecta. It was almost a dream come true for everyone at the event. And a lot of Aussie fans backing the Kiwis too, I noticed, at the stadium over in Perth.
Yeah, a lot of Izzy chants going around the crowd.
A lot. After being against him, I guess, in that first fight against Strickland. And was it Sydney? So they've changed their tune, as we sort of talked about.
Yeah, do you think that's more of a, we're not going to support South Africa, we're going to support New Zealand?
Probably.
Like it's the better of the two
the
losing
better
options?
Alternative, I guess, yeah, for them.
Which is kind of left field for Aussies. I'd expect them to just be like, nah, fuck you both. Let's just see a good fight.
Well, they have to pick someone.
They got a good fight.
And
they got a good card.
There was a lot of Kiwis on that card, so I guess they just picked and choose as required, as UFC fans often do.
You know who I was disappointed with? Junior Tougher.
Tough. Very unfortunate submission.
Talked a massive game. And he sold me.
Yep.
And unfortunately just ended up in, not so disappointed in him, just disappointed in the fight, how the fight turned out. Right at the end of the first round, the kind of verbal submission, they're saying, the little yell. I wanted to see him stand up and fight and box. And
it was always the risk coming up against a Walker. They're pretty evasive, and he got trapped, unfortunately. Couldn't keep the distance, couldn't whip out a little hook or anything, and he got taken down, and submission with a few seconds left of the first round. Very upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, if he could have held on for 2 more seconds, I have no idea what pain he was in. He must have been in some serious pain, but
almost like an alligator roll sort of business.
Yeah, it didn't look too nice. We'll keep moving up the card.
Nice.
Tuivasa, that was a interesting one because of the way the judges scored the fight. And whatever the guy's name was relieved of his duties midway through the card after scoring all 3 rounds to Tuivasa.
Win. I thought I heard that right. I was like, surely not. Just kicked a judge off halfway through the night, but
it's good to see though, holding them accountable if they're gonna go out there and just take the piss. And clearly didn't win all 3 rounds. Get them out. See you later.
Yeah, would love to see that in the NRL, specifically the bunker.
Make a bad call and you're gone.
You're gone.
Get held accountable.
Suspended.
We get held accountable.
You can't
Everyone's
talk
gotta get held
badly about
accountable.
the refs. Like, absolutely. You're not doing your job. You do a shit job. You get talked badly about. It has to happen.
If we don't do a good job, we're going to get held
Mate,
accountable.
you're dog shit.
So it should be the same across the board, and it's good to see they're doing it in the UFC.
It is.
And I mean,
Unexpected, but good.
yeah, so two of us are unfortunately split decision loss. Probably would have been a unanimous decision.
Yeah. If he didn't have 3 rounds all for him somehow.
Whatever that guy's name. Hey, do you reckon he'll ever officiate or judge?
I'm sure he will. It's probably just a suspension and a, like, hey, what were you watching? Sort of thing. So
it does seem a little bit suspicious there.
Indeed.
We'll keep going through. Dan Hooker, hell of a fight that was. That got the city kickboxing boys at the watch party. That got them fired up.
Yeah. What a win. At the end of every sort of round, everyone was fired up and gassed for Dan Hooker, and it's great to see him back in that sort of high energy and feeling himself and loving the game.
Yeah, it's good to see that energy that he did have. It was almost infectious through the screen, just the way he was talking, the way he conducted himself after the fight.
Yeah. I think even in between rounds, he said
something
to his coaches. He was like, "Boys, I love this game, boys." He was just enjoying every second of it, and super chuffed he got the win there at the end.
And I know the crowd would have been loving it, and everyone at our watch party was fizzing because obviously trying to back the 3 Kiwis.
Yep.
Started off with a hiss and a roar, and what a fight Dan Hooker put out.
Definitely a few of us for Dan Hooker to get a KO.
There were
moments. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done, but still got the win.
I'm impressed at how he was able to defend the wrestle game. We talked to one of his training partners who basically imitated Gamrot the whole time through the training camp, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is how the plan was meant to be." Executed Plan A, didn't have to go to Plan B. Defended very well, and then it was as soon as he got out of the wrestling, out of getting off the floor, stand up and box straight away, put the pressure straight back on him. So sounds like the game plan, nailed it, executed it, got the win. Kai Cutter France.
Round 1 knockout. That was electric. That really just lifted the ceiling to another level.
You couldn't have scripted it better up until that point.
No. He said, "We're on here. Kiwi KO has just landed. Yep. Thank you very much."
Sick. $3. Thanks for coming.
And
so good from Kai Cutter France.
Yeah.
I mean, it was meant to be a tough matchup for him.
It was. It was probably the toughest opponent he's had to date, I would say. And, he said his piece. He got the job done.
I love that.
Unreal, actually.
I love when he said, How on earth have you had 15 first-round finishes? And all he does is look at the camera and goes, "'Cause I'm moldy, bro." So good.
Yeah.
So good from him. That was cool to see. And then we rounded it off with a hell of a main event with Izzy and Drickus.
Yeah. The energy going into that fight was unreal. Leading into that, is the Kiwi trifecta going to happen? The build-up was insane. Israel looked like he was
up for it. He looked like
he was in the mood for it. And he looked strong. He looked physical. He was landing some heavy punches, some really loud kicks.
Those initial leg kicks, eh?
I think even Drickus said they felt insane. Like he was terrified of those kicks. But yeah, Drickus, relentless. Relentless.
That guy is a warrior as well.
Yeah. He had his game plan as well, and despite taking the heavy hits, he was persistent and he just kept pressing. I think the last 2 minutes of every single round, he goes, "Right, time to go, to go." Try to get the control time.
Forward.
Use the heavy punches. A couple of haymakers. He'll probably miss like 3 haymakers and then throw another one, and then hits Adesanya, and he's like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" But yeah, that control time I think was vital. It allowed Drickus as well to sort of get some rest and land some heavy shots.
Did you see what the scorecard was up until that point?
I think it was 2-1 for Drickus.
Yeah, so 2 of the judges had it 2-1 to Drickus. One of them had it 2-1 to Izzy.
Yeah.
So Drickus winning at that point felt like either of them could have got the knockout blow at any point after that third round.
Yeah, I started to look a little bit fatigued.
Yep.
A couple
More
of heavy
punches
shots.
were landing.
Yep.
Guards were dropping.
Yeah.
More stumbling around. And I mean, leading up to the submission, Drickus was just on Izzy like a rash. Just stepping forward, hitting him. Izzy looked nowhere. It was tough to see.
Yeah.
And then got the choke.
Got it done. I think Adesanya probably worried about the takedown a lot, which allowed Drickus to have Adesanya's head exposed and then just hit them with those heavy shots. And then eventually was able to open him up enough on the floor that he just was able to wrap himself around him. Yeah.
I think he did a good job defending the takedown initially.
Yeah, for sure.
And got out of...
But at the cost of taking some pretty heavy punches, because now your head's exposed. You wrote about the takedown.
Yeah. So, hell of a game plan from Drickus.
Insane
but also
power.
The way he conducted himself after. Cool to see.
Yeah.
Do you think if Izzy had won, do you think there would have been that same respect shown Drickus' way? I'd like to think so. I reckon there would have been
maybe
more of the showboating.
Yeah.
But I've seen the interaction, like they gave each other the different jackets after.
Yeah, I know
that sort of stuff.
DDP always said that he was going to give that jacket regardless of, the end result. But yeah, I think Adesanya probably would have been way more happy with that win should he have won.
I think that's just his personality as well.
And it is his personality, but I'm sure there was always, respect going both ways for them both being, high-level fighters. Maybe not on a personal level, but certainly on I respect you for the way you conduct yourself and how you fight sort of thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, they've already kind of hinted at a potential rematch at a UFC event in South Africa. But realistically, what's next for the champ, DDP?
I think it's Sean Strickland back in the mix for a second go. And then it looks like potentially Alex Pereira wants a piece of the South African pie. So
ooh, yeah,
that might mean DDP, he said he's already happy to move up.
He doesn't want any excuses from Alex if he comes down to 185 and loses. So I think if it happens, DDP will be going up.
Yeah.
Although, do you think Dana White and the UFC are going to give Alex what he wants?
Probably not straight away. I know DDP already said that he wants to make a name for himself in the middleweight division and prove that he belongs where he is. And, his last 3 fights, he's fought the top 3 and he's won all 3 of them. So stats-wise, he's going probably the best we've seen for a while in terms of the caliber that he's fighting. I mean, look at Alex Pereira. He's now first in, a top 8 in Roundtree. So he's got to fight his fight. Drickus will fight his rematch against Strickland, and then we'll see what happens, I think.
Do you think he would beat Strickland? He's going to beat Strickland?
DDP?
Yeah.
I think he can beat him again, for sure. Yeah, I think... Yeah, Strickland's had his time. It was a close fight. And anything can happen. I do just think it's DDP's time at the moment, and he's hitting that prime spot.
Yeah.
That can see him sort of really cement his mark and dominate the division 100%.
So defend the belt a couple of times, then head up to 205 and take on Alex when he feels like it.
Yeah.
So the ball's in his court?
I think so.
Yo.
Probably after the Strickland fight.
So he needs to beat Strickland first, though.
100%, yes.
He needs to beat Strickland, then he can move on and start thinking about Alex.
Yep.
And then maybe we get DDP Izzy number 2.
South African card would be insane. I'd love to see that.
That would be cool to head along to.
Would be.
We should try aim for that. We couldn't get along to Perth.
Ticket,
maybe
please.
We get along to 1 ticket to South, 2 tickets.
Two tickets.
2 tickets to South Africa, please.
And a Fanta Light, please, Brev.
Okay, we'll keep moving along. We'll go have a little dabble in the Premier League, which kicked off. What
Saturday
games
morning.
did you watch?
Man United, Fulham. I watched.
That's the only one you watched from start to finish?
Nope, Liverpool, Ipswich. I watched. I had my little draw bet on that game, and until Ed Sheeran left, it was looking pretty good. So Ed Sheeran, stay at the game, please. You don't need to perform.
Some support.
You don't need to go to whatever Glastonbury or wherever you're going. Just stay and support your team, and they would have drawn. Just saying. So I watched that 2-0, and then the rest was all pretty much highlights for me, eh?
Yeah.
How about you?
No, I only watched the Arsenal Wolves game. Got up at whatever time it was, 2:05. I think the alarm was set for 1:55. Got up.
Cheeky Sunday.
Watched that Sunday morning. Pretty happy with how it turned out.
for sure.
I mean, you take 3 points opening day. The Emirates looked good. I heard there was a bit of banter from the Wolves fans, and the Emirates was a little bit quiet to start with. But once that kind of banter started kicking in, oh boy, I think it just turned around and flipped a switch for the Gunner fans. And they piled in. But no, happy with the performance. I still think we do need, before the end of the transfer window, one more attacking option to go either. I mean, we've got Martinelli and Trossard on the left. Martinelli needs to be challenged. He needs to get on the ball more. He needs to attack defenders. Yeah, I think he's the guy with pace in our front three, and we need to utilize that more. He needs to show up. This is a big month for him. Otherwise, Trossard maybe gets a look in. And then cover on the right-hand side behind Saka. We don't have a lot there in terms of another player that you'd start in a Premier League winning 11.
Right.
I think Kai Havertz, very good.
Yep.
Very good. I think that connection between Saka and Havertz, especially that first goal, is going to be a goal we see a lot of. Very repeatable goal. Saka cutting in, ball in, off the left peg. Havertz, all he had to do, just redirect the ball with the head. And there's so much pace on the ball. No keeper's stopping it. David Raya made some great saves.
I saw that.
Kept us in it. And previous Arsenal seasons, you'd be watching that thinking, God, we need a second goal. We need a second goal. But didn't really feel that way in this opening game. So
I felt confident.
We move.
Although you did get the second goal, obviously.
We did. And, I'm not complaining about a second goal. But, we go to Villa next week. We play Villa next week. It's gonna be a tough one. Beating us twice last year.
So they're looking good. 270 to beat West Ham, and they got the job done 2-1.
Yep.
Man United also bit of a tough game. Fulham looked good.
They did look good. I was happy with how Fulham looked.
Teddy, Adam, Traore looking good. Adama Traore, sorry.
He just breezed down that right side.
Too much pace. So that was scary. I thought, well, they're going to score first here, and we're going to have to fucking trail and try. But nope, we held on. Some good defense. Masrial was good. Martinez very strong at the back. Xerxes, 87th minute. Clinch goal. Came on in the second half. Hello.
What about the commentator going,
McTominay?
Oh, it was Xerxes.
Oh, Xerxes tapped it in. Well,
he stuck a foot out there.
Just clean. It was just clean. Clean cross. Placed it beautifully. Unlike Garnacho, who missed an open goal pretty much.
Yeah, so let's talk about Garnacho. What a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, how between him and Rashford, you'd think there's enough quality between the two of them to help that ball find its place in the back of the net. But in classic Man United fashion, it seems, under Ten Hag, it didn't. And all thanks to, I would say, Garnacho.
Luckily, we weren't trailing at that point. But when that ball slipped through, I was licking my lips, rubbing my hands. I go, here comes my 2-0 prediction. Let's go. Rashford passes the ball on a 2-on-1 situation with the keeper. Garnacho absolutely shanks it. Almost missed the kick, basically. It was horrific. And even the commentator was like, what is Garnacho doing?
I don't know. I mean, there's not much more you could do. It feels almost Nunez-esque, where you could put the ball on the goal line and you'd still find a way to miss the goal or put it over the bar.
Yeah. At that point, I almost wish, man, Rashford, just be selfish, man. Take the shot.
The Rashford of 2 years ago.
Rather the goalkeeper save it than Garnacho miss it completely when he has an open goal. It's like, what is that?
Garnacho. I mean, not Garnacho. Yeah, I'm not backing him at all. Yeah. You'd back Rashford to finish his dinner there.
Yeah, you would.
And you'd hope he has the confidence in him, and maybe that's a manager thing, you know. And we've talked about that, trying to find the last perfect pass, and it's taken the freedom out of some players.
Yeah, for sure.
Just shoot.
Normally, we are selfish like that, and we will shoot, and we go, what the hell are you doing? This time, Rashford goes, I'm going to be...
Trying to be too perfect.
I'm going to be the nice guy, I'm going to pass it. And we're like, oh my God.
But nevertheless, he came out with 3 points.
Got the 3 points.
Arsenal 3 points. We're rolling. Did you have a moment of the weekend from match week 1?
Oh, I was quite surprised by Brighton 3-0. They played exceptional. They looked so good. Man Matoma looks on form. I'm very excited for his season. So wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting a 3-0 to come out of Everton. We thought, that'd be decent. You've got Pickford in goal, and they just got torn to pieces.
We both made that mistake having Pickford in our fantasy teams.
We did make that mistake. Won't happen again, I can assure you.
Straight out. Got to be ruthless in the fantasy game.
Crystal Palace Brentford is probably the game for me. And Buemo and is it Visser? Is that how you pronounce his name? Or Wise?
What's this?
Something like that. Their combos out the gate, it was the same last season when those two were on the field together. They just have this, I don't know what it is, this fourth realm connection. And they played out the gate, I think. And Buemo scored a goal. And Visser had a goal and an assist. And
Did the commentator give it the old Ivan Toney who? Who needs Ivan Toney?
Who needs Ivan Toney?
Which I was surprised not seeing him in the lineup because, to my knowledge, I mean, obviously all the transfer rumors, but I saw a video of him getting back in the training camp. I mean, he was in the dressing room, and no, not in the starting 11 due to his impending departure. But
if those two can keep it up for the rest of the season, they're looking decent. But then again, all it takes is one injury, and then there's a breakdown in that partnership, and then they're going to struggle for goals again.
Is that a bad sign for Everton? Losing 3-0
to Brighton?
To Brighton, yeah. I just want to switch back to that real quick.
Yep. It's the first week. It's the first week. I'm sure they'll sharpen up. But potentially, maybe it's just a case of Brighton being that good this season.
Maybe Brighton are back to their previous season form. Or is it Everton's year that they're finally going to hit the drop zone?
Maybe. And also, going back to that Brentford game, the disallowed goal for Crystal Palace, super unlucky. Eze looked really good. He had an insane free kick, absolute banger, got disallowed. So there's 2 goals there, and then you go, well, Crystal Palace go up 3-2. So,
yeah, every highlight in that Sky Sports package of the highlights of that game, anything to do with Crystal Palace, Eze was involved.
Yeah, 100%.
And oh my goodness, it just felt like that guy was everywhere.
So unlucky. That's a lot of points gone begging in the fantasy league, but
we both made that mistake as well.
We did, but it's exciting for what's to come if there's more of that business.
My moment came this morning where the freshly promoted Leicester took on Tottenham, and good old Jamie Vardy netted one home, and then proceeded to tell Spurs fans how many titles Leicester have won and how many titles Spurs have won. And for Jamie Vardy just to turn up after a season down in the Championship, back into the Premier League, back into action.
Feeling good.
Net one, took a bit of stick from the fans, decided to give some back and tell Tottenham how bad they are.
1-0.
Yeah, wow.
37-year-old Jamie Vardy is certainly having a party.
So maybe, I don't know, if that hunger is still there and that Leicester team can... It's tough to gauge off Spurs because I don't know if Spurs are, don't want to take much away from that. Chelsea, they look like they're in trouble. Was there anything else that really stuck out from the Premier League weekend?
I don't believe so.
Arnie Slot kicks off his career with a win.
He did. Ipswich held on for 60 minutes, an hour. They were looking good, so it's good signs.
Fun. I'm still excited for Ipswich.
And then I think they conceded 2 within 5 minutes, so that was the only real the downside, but I'll blame Ed Sheeran for that one. But yeah, I think I mentioned it. Aston Villa at 270, getting the job done against West Ham. Very good.
Now, we're trying this little 5-a-side fantasy challenge. Have you checked on your team, how you went?
Not really. I think I had Saka in there, maybe Bruno Fernandes, maybe. I can't remember who else.
Well, I've just gone to check, and I'll tell you what, you got to select another 5 because we're already on to match week 2. I'm trying to find my points from match week 1. Here it is. Raya in goal got me 8 points. Trippier in defence did not play. Thanks, mate. 0 points.
Buddy.
Salah 14. Saka 12, and I had Captain Haaland, so 14 points there.
Captain Haaland, not bad.
Yeah, I mean, captaining Saka or Salah would have resulted in 24 or 28 points.
I think I had Isaac, maybe.
Is your skipper?
Isaac. Yeah. Did
tough.
okay.
But
okay.
I'll tell you what, I'm sitting in first overall.
Could be Nunes.
First for me, and
very good.
you had 32 points, sitting in 4th.
Yeah,
What is this
Pickford
week's
was a
challenge?
mistake.
Game 2. Select your team. All-out attack. Goals are worth double points. And your squad can only contain 1 goalkeeper and 4 forwards. That'll be a bit of fun.
Spicy.
We'll have a look at that later in the
Oh,
week.
good.
Awesome. One thing, and it kind of relates back to this 305 with Izzy and why he lost. I've seen a lot of Drake's curse popping back up.
Not the Drake curse, man.
The Drake curse is back, and in a bad way, baby.
Oh.
He had something like $500,000 on Izzy to win,
Oh.
just head to head.
Oh, no. If
and-
I saw that, I would have put more in DDP, just saying.
And from that point onwards, I think if Izzy had seen that, Drake,
Not good.
your face is getting
Not good.
rearranged, pal.
Drake, just stop betting, please. Do us all a favor.
But it goes to more than just him betting. Where I was having a look into it, and it's just kind of he's notorious for being a bandwagon sports fan.
Of course he is.
So it seems whatever kind of team or player or athlete he supports, I don't know. But Drake, if you wanna make your way out this way, get yourself a Betcher account, get on Bet Social, share your bets with everyone for the good of the country, so we can fade exactly what you're doing. I reckon we could get Drake out here. We'll get him on the pod. Get his picks.
Right, just shit on him the whole time.
We'll be like, Drake, what's going on, Drizzy Drake? Tell us your tips for the NPC this weekend.
So we can do the absolute opposite.
With him knowing absolute no rugby knowledge, and I guarantee if he had a 10-leg multi, it would be the exact opposite. You know what's just as impressive as hitting your 10-leg multi? Getting all 10 wrong.
Yes.
Especially if they're just head-to-head results.
That is quite a feat.
That should almost be worth getting your money back. Because, I mean...
Yeah, congratulations. You managed to get every single one incorrect.
Yeah, like, that's impressive.
Obviously, you can't win every bet. I certainly know that, but Drake that's a disgusting stat. His ratio would be out the gate.
Yeah, so it was reportedly, and he doesn't publicize all his bets, reportedly 17 wins and 189 losses in sports betting.
What the hell, man?
Which is out the
Just
gate.
stop. Please.
I've just found that number on Twitter.
Just stop.
So
it could be fake.
It could be. I mean, by the way things sound, and Drake's curse being notorious for it, I probably wouldn't be too far off. Although 17 wins sounds too many for him. How'd your betting go over the weekend?
Pretty good. Overall, a couple missteps. I had Auckland in my NPC.
Same.
Initially, but fear not, we bounced back. Let's take a look. This is what hit for me. Bay of Plenty, taking the win against Counties Manukau. New Zealand Warriors, 15.5 points. So that line got me $1.90 to the multi. They squeezed that in. Southland, 15.5 against Hawke's Bay. That just squeezed in.
Just squeezed in.
And then Taranaki plus 7.5 as well. So that was a nice little rugby one for me. In addition to, obviously, I had DDP in the head-to-head as a solo bet.
Which you kept very quiet on the day of. Very quiet.
I had to keep very quiet. But I obviously had a Kiwi multi going as well, backing the boys. I think I had Dan Hooker for a knockout. So that missed there, obviously. I had Justin Tava, that missed. So that was unfortunate. But the DDP head-to-head worked out well for me. I had New Zealand to win, as in the All Blacks. Fairly fussy to score for South Africa and South Africa to win that hit.
And another multi.
And it was like a multi and a multi in a way.
Yeah.
And then EPL was great success. I didn't touch Liverpool.
Success.
Did not touch Liverpool. I had Aston Villa in there at 270, Newcastle United at 135, Arsenal, of course, and Manchester United.
Wow.
So all around, not bad.
So you had a profitable weekend.
UFC let me down a little bit, but I regained that in the Premier League and the NPC. So
you're
and
up?
the Rugby Championship.
You'd say you're up?
I'm up.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a rough one. Started off hot with my first bet was a little same game multi on the Warriors.
Yep.
Which included, I'm just going to pull it up here.
I had one of those as well, actually, with the return of Pompey and the return of Luke Metcalf. I was like, we're on here.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Pompey's try got disallowed due to the NRL bunker.
Yeah.
Thank you, NRL bunker.
Sure.
And that was the end of that.
I had Fanua Blake, 50-plus player points.
Ooh.
DWZ to get 150 run meters.
Surely.
Yep. And
Nice.
that was a little bit of a sweat, though.
What did he get?
He finished on 170 odd.
Oh, nice.
But I think he had 45 in the first half, so I was...
There was about a 20-meter run towards the end there, so maybe that got you over the line.
Yeah, I think it did. And then I had the tries, to have 1+ tries combined duo, I had DWZ and Saab. So,
very nice.
I mean, that ticked off very easily.
Almost could have gone for the double there.
I should have.
Both of them to get over the line, but nice.
My New Zealand versus Pumas multis did not come in because I had New Zealand 1-12 and an Argentina plus 14.5, but I did have multi-rescue. So bonus cash come my way, and unfortunately my anytime try scorer, so close. I had Cody Taylor, Artie Savia, Will Jordan. And my goodness, Cody Taylor came close just before the Sevilla try. And then when he subbed off, I was thinking, why the hell have I picked a hooker to score? Knowing that Asafo Moore's on the bench and he's probably going to come on around the 50th minute mark, which he did. But with that yellow card, Cody Taylor comes back on. We were in the bar and we were talking about the last 10 minutes dragging on. You asked me if I wanted to leave. I was like, I want to just see the end out, you know. Yellow card, Cody Taylor back on the field, 80th minute.
It was all on.
79th minute, we win a penalty on halfway. And I'm like, yes, let's go. Kick to the corner, Geordie, line out drive. Cody Taylor get on the back, get over. Nope, Geordie Barrett kicks the ball dead. Unbelievable. Walked out the bar, went home.
Tough. He was close, though, Cody Taylor.
He did get close.
But I think Artie Savia ended up getting the ball and going over instead.
Yep.
So I see the vision.
Yep, it was there.
Unfortunate.
I mean, I should have just gone both wingers and a D-Mac and Bowden Barrett.
That's the thing, though. You never really... It's the same for the Warriors game. You never really want to go for the obvious wingers because you know when you back the wingers, they're just not seen at all. And you go, okay, sick. I'm never betting on the wingers ever again.
That was my thought process.
And then they go and both score, so you can't win.
And actually, when Caleb Clark first scored, because he scored before Will Jordan, I was like, oh, God, not both wingers are going to score. So I'm gone already.
Yeah.
And then Will Jordan dotted down twice.
Oh, good.
My third round KO for Izzy did not come in, unfortunately.
Not bad. That third round was good for him, I thought.
It could have been there.
Could have been.
And then I also put some bonus cash on Izzy 4th round knockout. So I was heavy on the Izzy to win by knockout.
You were heavy on that.
My weekend betting wise, I guess we're about even if you count bonus cash losses.
Did you have a Premier League multi in there?
I had a 10-legger.
Oh.
Across
and you got every single one.
Yeah, give me my money back. That's why I said that. No, I got 5 out of 10.
Okay.
5 out of 10, right.
Not bad. 50%.
Yeah, the Liverpool result, Arsenal result, Newcastle result, Villa result, and City result were all right.
Who was incorrect?
I had Tottenham to win, Crystal Palace to win, Bournemouth
which they
to win.
they could have.
Crystal Palace should have won. Why did I pick Everton to win? Looking back at that now.
Crazy team.
And I had United Fulham draw, which was paying 440.
Yep.
But I mean,
that could have happened.
We build on that. We'll look ahead to next week. Well, actually,
very exciting.
We have been teasing a little bit a Friday show where we're going to put our tips out.
Yes.
Has not come yet.
Teasing.
So take this with a grain of salt. We are going to look to be back on Friday with a couple tips. We're going to get the boys up in Auckland to hopefully have a couple tips as well. Yep. We'll share those around. So we'll call it a day today.
Yep.
We'll hopefully be back Friday.
Yep.
And hopefully pick some winners.
Yes, unlike Drake, apparently.
How good. See you next time.
Nice.